Barack Obama's re-election campaign officially launched today, and one of the unspoken but obvious themes throughout the ad that he released is the big role minority voters will play in the upcoming election. Now, look, everybody knows minority voters are important, but you're going to see with the new data that they're even more important than they were in the last election. The latest census data shows non-Hispanic whites now make up 63.7% of the population. That's compared to 2000 when they were 69% of the population. So the white percentage of the population has had a huge drop in just the last 10 years, meaning voters, and particularly Latinos, are much more important now in this upcoming election. And when it comes to the impact of minority voters on future elections, whoa, check this out. Of those that are 18 and younger, just over 46% are minorities now. In 2000, only 39% were minorities. The National Journal's Ron Brownstein has a new in-depth analysis of the political impact of these demographic shifts. Brownstein points out, quote, at the current rate of growth, non-whites will comprise a majority of children in the United States by 2015. It's only 4 years from now. Now, the driving force behind the population shift, Latinos. There were 35 million Hispanics in the U.S. in 2000 and 50 million in 2010. That's a 47% gain. Now, here's the bottom line. Obama won overwhelming support of minorities in 2008, about 80%, which is a huge number. If he can maintain that support in 2012, or anywhere near it, actually, he'll have a real shot at winning some states that he lost in 2008. And obviously keeping hold of the swing states that he won, even though if he gets just modest, I mean, in some cases tiny, you're going to see support from white voters. According to Brownstein's analysis, Obama could take Georgia with just 25% of the white vote. That's a stunning number. Nevada with 35%, Florida with just under 40%, and Arizona with 46.7% of the white vote President Obama would carry. So the ad that he released today was kind of dull, it lacked some energy, but it did most of its talking through who was on the ad rather than what they said. And it was chock full of, young voters, minorities. It had a young black activist. It had a Latino woman in Arizona. They hit all the swing states, so they get it. Obviously, they're going to make a concerted effort to go get those important demographic numbers on their side. With me now is Ron Brownstein, the man we mentioned earlier. He's editorial director of the National Journal Group, and MSNBC political analyst Pat Buchanan. All right, both of you, great to have you here. Ron, let me start with you. I mean, those percentage of white voters you need in those states is so tiny. I mean, Georgia, I can't believe that's all he needs. He can't get 25% in Georgia, but maybe
you're
not.
Guaranteed. Yeah, no, you're not guaranteed. Look, the basic dynamic as you look forward to 2012 is that the minority share of the population is increasing even more than people expected in this census. The minority share of the vote is going to rise in 2012. On the other hand, the Democrats and Obama have suffered erosion of support in the white community. The Republicans won a higher share of the white vote in the 2010 congressional election than they've won in any election since the advent of modern polling. So that is the basic dynamic. Can they hold enough of the white support versus the gains that they're going to see in the minority community in all likelihood? Now, don't forget that the Democratic support among minorities fell off somewhat in 2010. Still won about just under 3/4 of them. That was down from 4/5. If they hold that, it puts a lot of pressure on Republicans to replicate what was extraordinary success among whites
also,
in 2010.
And it's not just the people who are going out to vote. It's the people that are trying to decide whether they should vote or not. That's another critical part of it. But, Pat, I want to go to you here. I mean, as you look at those numbers, if the Republican Party keeps demonizing Latinos with anti-immigration rhetoric, aren't they killing themselves?
Well, no, the immigration issue, I think in 2008 was about the 5th or 6th most important for Hispanics. But there's no doubt that ultimately the Republican Party's got a hellish problem. But Ron is exactly right, Cenk. Look, in 2008, 74% of the vote, I don't care the population, was white. Right. And the Obama has had a horrible falling off, especially among the white working class. He's not going to win North Carolina this time. I don't think he's going to win Virginia. I don't think he's going to win Indiana. I think he'll be stronger out there in Colorado and Nevada. But look, I think this election is up for grabs. But let me say, on the long term, given the immigration patterns and the birth patterns, quite frankly, the Republican Party, as I've known it, as we put it together in the Nixon and Reagan years, is ultimately doomed.
And, but you made a choice, right? I mean, I want to follow up on that, Pat. I mean, it was called the Southern Strategy, and it was to get white votes. Now that the demographic shift has happened, seems like you're on the bad end of that strategy, doesn't it?
Not at all. Well, look, I mean, I came into politics in 1966. We've had a pretty good run of it. But the truth is, in every election I've been in, or the Republicans have been in, is 90% of the Republican vote, or 89%, is white voters. And as that diminishes as a share of the population, undoubtedly you got to get higher percentages. Like Nixon and Reagan got about 64, 67%. 60% is good, but ultimately Republicans are going to have to do even better than that, or they're going to have to get Hispanic votes. And the problem there is that Hispanics believe in government. They're big government people.
Okay, well, that's interesting. So, Ron, let's go to the idea of the power that Latino activists might have. Because when you look at it, not only is the Latino numbers rising, but there's actually a big gulf between that and the voter registration. Yeah. So if they can get people to actually go out and vote, that would make an enormous difference. Does that give them more clout in this race?
It would. First of all, that was really good analysis by Pat of the past 45 years of American politics. Yeah, absolutely. There's an enormous gulf between 16% of the population, 14% of the adult population, Latino, only 9% of the vote. Partially, you know, that's some people are here illegally. Even people who are here legally, many of them have not become citizens. Those who are citizens, many have not registered to vote. They are kind of under punching their weight in the electorate. But even with all of those hurdles, the demography, the weight of the demography is inexorable. And you are seeing, you know, Pat noted 26% of the vote in 2008 was minority. When Bill Clinton was first elected, it was only 12%. I mean, this is a slow and steady change. It was not just a sudden jump with Barack Obama. It'll probably be somewhere around 28% of the electorate. And it does move states like Virginia and North Carolina, Florida. They are states, I would disagree with Pat. I think those are states that, at least Virginia and Florida, that Obama really does want to win because they are diverse states. And if he can't hold those, it starts getting problematic to get up to 270. Not so much Florida, but certainly Virginia. He is going to have trouble in those heavily white states. He needs to hold some of those states that kind of look like him. They are diverse and they are well educated.
All right, Cenk, let me say, though, let me give you some numbers from 2008. 74% of the vote was white vote. Only 77.4% was Hispanic, even though Hispanics were about 15% of the population and are now 16%. You've touched on their problem. It is a number of these folks are illegal. Some of them are very young. There's not a great interest on the part of a lot of them in politics, unlike African Americans who are very political and who are frankly voting their percentages now in national elections. That's the problem for the Democratic Party. Can he get these people excited and enthused when, after 4 years, they aren't as excited about Barack Obama in Libya and Barack Obama going back to Guantanamo as they were?
Well, Pat, the challenge for Republicans, on the other hand, is that under 18 Hispanic population, which is so large, they are citizens. The vast majority of them, over 90%, are citizens. They were born in the U.S. They're going to be eligible to vote when they're 18. And the delta, the gap between the Hispanic share of the population and the Hispanic share of the vote is probably going to narrow at an accelerating rate in the next decade. And that does change the dynamic, even in places like Texas. You know, there are 18 House Republicans, for example, who are in districts that are majority-minority. Those are the kinds of places Democrats are probably going to have to take back. And 2012 would offer some opportunity there because we saw a big fall off in the minority share of the vote in 2010. That's one of the reasons why Republicans won districts that were heavily diverse. In 2012, the Obama campaign, as you suggested from that video, is going to put a lot of effort on expanding the electorate, on bringing out those voters. Look at the states they highlighted, North Carolina, Colorado, Nevada. They have an eye on this diverse electorate, and that could have effects down the ballot as well. All
right, Pat, last question to you. Hold on, Pat. I got to ask you one last question here. Look, obviously that's the case. They're going to go ahead and put up immigration reform. They know it's not going to pass, but they're going to do it to try to get Latino votes as we get closer to the election. That's what President Obama is going to do. I think that's fairly obvious. If they don't do it, I'd be really surprised. What is going to be the Republican reaction? You said it yourself. They're in a world of trouble if they keep demonizing Latinos. Are they going to go down that path anyway?
I don't think they demonize Latinos. They got a problem simply because of demography. Here's the situation, Cenk. Basically, look, if we're looking at 7% unemployment and things are really getting better in Michigan and Ohio, Obama's a clear and overwhelming favorite. If he's sitting up there at 8.5% or close to 9% at that time, I think Obama will be perceived to have failed. And an awful lot of people like Michigan, with the enormous gains Republicans made.
I know, but Pat, look, it isn't just about this election either. You're going to go off the cliff.
Look,
you notice you're going off the cliff.
Look, none of us lives forever, Cenk.
Well, all right, there you go. There you're admitting it. All right, Pat Buchanan and Ron Brownstein, great conversation. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.